So here we are in EduCanon, educanon.com. It is a free web-based software that adds interactivity into video that has already been created. This is not a video editing platform. It just adds some pretty neat functionality that I think you'll like to use in your classroom. I'm signed up. I've got my free account and I am logged in at this point. This is my student search code right here, and I'll explain. It's kind of like my ID number, and I'll explain a little bit later how you use that. Now, in this demo, we're just going to scratch the surface of what EduCanon is and what it can do. We're not going to get too in depth. I'll save that for some other videos. This is the page that you arrive to when you log in. It's more of an assistant, a help page. So you can scroll up and down here and get some tutorials in what you're doing. What we'll do is we'll start up here in design, and this is where you design your interactive videos. They call them bulbs. Why do they call them bulbs? I don't know, but probably the same reason why they have a dachshund for their logo. So what you would do here is you would enter the title of the video or the lesson, the objective here, and then here are some other variables such as what grade you teach and what the subject is, and then you dig down a little bit more here. Now you will paste your video URL into this box. You can use videos from YouTube, Vimeo, TeacherTube, and Shmoop. They've got Khan Academy here, but those are on YouTube. So I've got a video, and I'll paste it there, and we say go. It's going to show up over here, and that's where I add my interactivity. Now, we're not going to get into this at this point, but this is really where most of your work occurs, in this design tab. So what I would do here, though, is I've got my video, and I'm going to add points where you can ask questions of your students, and the video will stop when they're watching it, and a question will appear, and they can either work out a problem or they could just type up their thoughts and their input as to what's being discussed. There's really a lot of options in this software, and it's very easy to use. So anyway, check out one of my other tutorials on really how to design an EduCanon bulb. All right, let's get out of design and we'll move over to bulbs, just so you can see after you create them, this is what happens. There we are. And here are some of my bulbs. And it looks like it created one from the lesson that I was just in. Here's some from earlier that I created, an Adobe Premiere sequence here. And so you can preview that. And it's going to pop up here. We play it and you can see it's a YouTube video. Okay, so we're in Adobe Premiere. Now what it does is at predetermined points that I determined throughout the video, it's going to halt and it's going to ask a question. Any question that I decide to put in there. And so you can see here, I ask which sequence preset do you think that you should choose, because that's what I was talking about in the YouTube video. And then they've got a few answers. Now I know that this first answer is wrong. So when I go to select that, it's selected. Hit the thumbs up, and it told me it was wrong. Actually, I wanted to choose this answer. Too bad. And then I can proceed from there. So that's what a bulb looks like. It's a video that has interactivity. I've got a math one going on up here, and you'll see in a tutorial about how to create your bulbs that for math this is really great, because you can stop and you can actually have some practice questions for them. And you can watch things like a TED Talk and really get their input into what they think is being discussed. So anyway, these are the bulbs. Now what you can do, I'm going to jump over here to assign. And what this is this is going to allow me to input my classes. If I'm a math teacher, I might teach geometry and algebra 1 and algebra 2 and trigonometry, and each one I'll have a class, and I can add up to 8 classes right here. Okay, I've put in 2 sort of dummy classes here, video editing and TED Talks class, and then over here are all my bulbs, and I can assign bulbs to classes just by dragging them over. And then I can assign them on different days of the week or the month. So I can jump up to the 24th and assign a bulb to that day for that class. So you can do them ahead of time, and students can log in and see what's coming up, and be able to watch them that way. Now, this is really cool, and it's not something that I'm going to be able to show very well, because the way that you populate your classes with students is by them signing up and then finding you through that number that I showed you earlier, this student search code. You would give this out to your classes, they would find you, and they would say, okay, I'm in Algebra 2, here is Mr. Bassett's Algebra 2 class, and so there it is. Now, no way I'd ever teach Algebra 2 because math is not my forte. But what you can do is, after they finish watching a video and they've answered the questions, it's going to give you a readout here in Monitor about what happened in your with your students' answers. It's going to tell you who got which answers wrong, who got which answers right. You're going to see some different patterns appear there, and you'll be able to see, okay, well, a lot of students really weren't grasping this concept, so maybe that's what I need to go back and work on. It's pretty neat. What I'll do is, at the end of this video, I'll tag on their video where they break that down and talk more about it. Okay, so this is EduCanon, and it's a really nice software. It's easy to learn, and I think it has a whole lot of value for a lot of teachers in their classroom.
The Monitoring tab gives you a question-by-question visualization of your students' performance. Select your period or class, then select the lesson for which you want to see data. As Harvey completes the questions, this page is updated in real time, allowing you to identify and even remediate student misconceptions in the moment. Harvey just answered C, which, as you can tell from the color coding, was the incorrect response. Now we're going to pull open a lesson with many student responses. Notice that you can sort each question alphabetically to visualize common student misconceptions. As well, it is easy to delve into each student's performance. For instance, we can see here that Harry Truman had some difficulty with this lesson, getting 4 out of 5 questions incorrect.